EMF is a major stressor in our environment, and it affects your energy field. And so your energy field is this, way that you communicate. It's one of the main ways that your body communicates. Your brain creates brain waves, and your heart creates, a heart wave. And these non-native frequencies just come in, and they just totally scramble all of your signals. They interfere in your body's ability to communicate. And it's a major stressor that they don't realize. They kind of become used to it. Like you mentioned, that frog and boiling water, these EMFs have slowly been increasing over time, and there's more and more coming. I mean, every day there's EMF satellites being, launched into the atmosphere, these 5G satellites, and there's going to be 100,000 in the atmosphere, so that everyone on the planet has cell phone signals, no matter where they are on the planet. And that's going to be rolling out over the next couple of years. So people need to be thinking about EMF mitigation and learn how that affects your body. But there's a learning curve to that. So the Harmoni Pendant is a really simple way to something you can put on that goes with you everywhere. It's not like some sticker on your cell phone or a thing you put on your computer, or just something you have in your home that protects your home. What about when you leave your home?
You're listening to Cleanse, Heal, Ignite podcast, and I'm your hostess, Diane Kaiser, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, former pro soccer player, transformational leader, holistic healer, and life purpose coach, helping you and your business awaken to your full potential. We are a transformation tribe of visionaries empowering passion-quenching, heart-centered advice to wellness warrior leaders on self-love, nutrition, mindset, and divorcing perfectionism. Our mission is to help you laugh your way to a sexy belly, love your way to vitality, and live your life with purpose by sharing real talk and truth drops that will help you cleanse your body, heal your hormones, and ignite your life. Side effects of this podcast may include all-day energy, happy hormones, perfect poops, increased confidence, becoming your own best healer, and catching the self-love virus. There's currently no vaccination to protect you from this and no known cure. In most cases, listeners experience a strong desire to accept new challenges, ditch toxic people, follow their heart, and dance like no one's watching. If you experience moods happier than usual, live it unapologetically and share with your social media friends immediately. Hey, warriors, welcome back to another episode of Cleanse, Heal, Ignite. And today I am here with one of my favorite gals in the detox world and one of my soul sisters, Wendy Myers. Hi, Wendy.
Hey, everyone. How are you?
I'm swell, especially because I am wearing your necklace, and that's what we're going to talk about today. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
We planned our outfits. If you're watching this live, later on video, because we're both wearing green. Pretty cool. Wendy moved down to Mexico and I moved to Sedona this last year. So both of us left California and went to more naturally beautiful and more free territories, this is what I want to talk about today with you, Wendy, because you have helped and you created this pendant to help us be free, or as free as we can be, from the damage of EMFs. So can you tell us about what this Harmoni Pendant does for us and why you created it?
Yes. So it helps to mitigate the stressful effects of EMF, but it's also a stress reduction device. And I was really happy to do a study on it. We had 8 different doctors, Dr. Nathan Bryan, who is an expert in nitric oxide. And we had Dr. Lisa Coach, who's an energy medicine expert and medical doctor, and Dr. Lisa Fortin, who's a Harvard trained doctor, and so many other amazing doctors, Dr. Michael Rankin Jr. on this study. And they were able to show that when people wore this pendant, and then they were exposed to a really high EMF source, that they had about like 48% reduction on average in the stressful effects of EMF. And they had a 700% improvement in their HRV scores, which is a measure of stress. It's used in all kinds of different studies. And a lot of biohackers are, testing their HRV before and after different modalities to see if it works. And that's what all these doctors do. They have these HRV devices and they test if what different modalities they're using works on their patients to reduce their stress. And but this HRV device tests like 30 other different variables. And so we were able to show that people had 160% improvement on average of their circadian rhythms. So people are sleeping better. I certainly had that benefit. And then we also showed that some people had a 2000% improvement in the flow of their meridians. So the energy flow in the meridians. We have a white paper on that on the website that we showed that also people's chakras improved. And so we have a white paper on chakras and meridians, and then a white paper on EMF and HRV improvement as well. But the study was about 100 different people. And, but it's not 100% protection from EMF. There isn't anything out there that does that. But, EMF is a major, major stressor in our environment, and it affects your energy field. And so your energy field is this, way that you communicate. It's one of the main ways that your body communicates. Your brain creates brain waves, and your heart creates, a heart wave. And these non-native frequencies just come in, and they just totally scramble all of your signals. They interfere in your body's ability to communicate. And it's a major stressor that they don't realize. They kind of become used to it. Like you mentioned, that frog and boiling water, these EMFs have slowly been increasing over time, and there's more and more coming. I mean, every day there's EMF satellites being, launched into the atmosphere, these 5G satellites, and there's going to be 100,000 in the atmosphere, so that everyone on the planet has cell phone signals, no matter where they are on the planet. And that's going to be rolling out over the next couple of years. So people need to be thinking about EMF mitigation and learn how that affects your body. But there's a learning curve to that. So the Harmoni Pendant is a really simple way to something you can put on that goes with you everywhere. It's not like some sticker on your cell phone or a thing you put on your computer. Or just something you have in your home that protects your home. What about when you leave your home? So it's something that is a fantastic way to reduce the stressful effects of EMF. You still want to do other EMF mitigation in your home. You don't want to just put this on and think you don't have to do anything else. So I don't want to, make any claims to that effect. But every little bit helps, and I think it's a great way to mitigate EMF and also to dramatically reduce stress, of which everyone is dealing with that in this day and age.
Yeah, geez, it's EMF stress is my biggest concern, moving forward. I interviewed Mark Steele, and if you guys are not in my Truth Tribe, you can go to my website, dianekaiser.com, and click on Truth Tribe. And we're sharing these kinds of episodes back there because, there's a lot of censorship happening today. And any talk about, high five, which means my code language for 5G, I say that on social media because these are words that get us censored. So there's a reason for that. There is a big reason for that. And I believe it should be at the forefront of all of our, health detox is to lower the amount that we're exposed to. So, that's the other thing. So Wendy, 50%, that's a pretty high amount. And I know that there are naysayers out there. I always like to pull out the naysayers because that's what they listen to these episodes and they're like, well, I thought that, I heard that. So, maybe we can start calming some of these myths, and you can explain to us how this thing works. That there are a lot of people who, I've even heard this too, is that, well, pendants aren't going to do it for you. They're not going to protect your entire body. So what would you say about that, other than the studies that you just shared?
Yeah, and no, there certainly is a lot of garbage out there that doesn't work. There's a lot of snake oil being sold about EMF protection. I totally get it. But the thing is that this pendant, we're not claiming that it totally protects from EMF, but we did see in the study that people had a 40% improvement in the stressful effects of EMF. They had an improvement even over the baseline of, like, say, before the pendant, we did a test, exposed them to a high EMF source, all the HRV and other numbers just tanked. And then they put the pendant on. We only wore it for 5 minutes. And then we saw these dramatic improvements, even over and above the baseline of different stressors and different, measurements in the body. So, we can prove that it does work, that people are able to kind of combat the stress that EMF kind of causes on the body or elicits on the body, not to mention all of the other stress reduction benefits. And we have over 1,000 reviews on the pendant of people saying that they slept better, they feel less stressed, they're able to work on their computer longer without headaches and nausea, and they just generally feel better, and they have more energy as a result. And so you can just read all of those reviews for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But I personally had a very profound experience with the pendant. I was sleeping terrible. I was tired all the time because of that. I think I was dealing with a lot of emotional trauma, just divorce, wanting to break up with my business partner at the time. It just felt terrible a lot of the time. I was living in a moldy home. And then I met the person who designed the pendant, and I put the pendant on and I activated it. You have to activate it. And I felt high for the next 4 days. It was so profound, the brain clarity and all the other benefits that I experienced. And it, it took me a while to kind of want to get behind it and, kind of get the word out there to people, but it has such tremendous capacity to help so many people, and it couldn't be simpler to wear. But I understand that there's a lot of EMF experts out there that are not into pendants, and I totally get that. But Lloyd Burrell, who's an expert in EMF, he wears a pendant. Dr. Mercola has a book on EMF called EMF. He wears the pendant as well. So there's a lot of people out there that do get behind the pendant that are EMF experts.
Absolutely. And, I'll even share my own experiences when I was working with you guys before you made them so beautiful and rose gold and gold colored. And they were, at their previous design, and they weren't nearly as catchy. And I was wearing them myself, and I had given some of them for some research with exercise performance, and they were different professional athletes, but one specifically who was an MMA fighter. And he wore his pendant, and he went from, just doing okay to winning event after event after event. And that was my boyfriend at the time was a professional MMA fighter, and he was training him. He said, I gave him the pendant and I've watched him explode in his performance. So, talk about heart rate variability, because you said HRV, and I want people to know what heart rate variability means. Your heartbeat has everything to do with your health. It's at the forefront of it. So what does improving HRV by using this pendant mean for people in terms of improved benefits that they would notice?
Yeah, so HRV is heart rate variability. So it's the amount of space in between heartbeats. So if you're stressed, your heart is beating faster. So there's going to be your HRV is going to be lower. So you want your HRV to be higher, ideally. But it's you just can say you want to improve your HRV. So the like I said, we showed on with the study that the pendant helped to improve people's heart rate variability, and it's a totally legitimate way to measure stress. It's used on all kinds of studies on Harvard University, and it's a very good marker of stress. There's also a lot of ways that devices out there that measure HRV that aren't very accurate. So we use the Heart Scientific HRV that's has Russian scientists behind it, and it's a very, very good way, very accurate way to measure HRV, as well as there's 30 other different variables that it tests as well. But you can look at all that research on our website, where you guys can click the link below and look at both white papers that are based on this one study. But in essence, the heart rate variability is just a measure of how stressed your body is.
Yeah. And right now, 95% of disease begins with inflammation, which begins with some kind of physical, emotional, or a chemical stressor. And among all those things, and the biggest stressor that's hidden that people don't really associate with is EMFs, and is all of these towers. And it is one of my biggest concerns. So protection is paramount. I have really recommended this pendant to many people. And I just sent out another invitation for people, because we're moving into a place right now with so many towers, like you said, that it's going to be difficult to protect ourselves in all areas, but let's give our body the best shot that we can. So, I would like to ask you too, with these holes. I think that I get this question a lot that I can't articulate, but there's, it's beautiful. You got 4 holes, you got 4 circles. So is that proprietary? Are you able to tell us why it looks the way that it does for it to work the way that it does?
Yeah, so it has to do with sacred geometry. So how our bodies work is with frequencies. Everything has a frequency, which can be measured. And so when you send it, you can send different information to your body. And so what this pendant is doing when you activate it, or you put about like a foot out from your heart and you activate the pendant. So what that process is doing is sending your body different information to behave differently. And what that it's telling your body is to basically like optimize your body's energy field. And so, and this sounds kind of weird, but this is very, very grounded in science. If you want to read all the science about how the body field works, you can look at David Wilcock's Source Field Investigations. He has tons and tons of data on like the body's energy field. And there's lots of exciting research out there on bioenergetics and the energy field. But essentially how it works is the pendant, the 4 holes in it send information to your body. And how it does this essentially is information travels on energy waves. And so those energy waves have a certain frequency, and you can think of this like a radio. So you turn into frequency 98.6, for instance. And when you tune into that frequency, this information that's traveling on the radio waves, you hear the voices and the music and the advertisements. And that's essentially how, so everything on the planet works. Everything is sending out a certain frequency to give your body information, and that changes the physical body. Okay, so the EMFs, those electromagnetic frequencies that are harmful or non-native will hit your body and change your brain waves, change your heart waves. And that's why people get heart palpitations or they have trouble sleeping because those EMFs are affecting their body, their brain waves. And that's the same thing happens with the pendant. You're sending your body different information to optimize and balance the energy field, the chakras, the meridians. And that begins with sending corrective information with the sacred geometry that's independent.
So much of sacred geometry. There's the whole 5G kill grid happening in Glasgow. And I when I interviewed Mark Steele, he sent me an email. It was a picture of what the grid looked like for their city, which is where they're launching, 5G. And I looked at it and I was like, Mark, do you realize that looks like the flower of life? And I thought, wow, everything that is light that is out there, that people might call woo-woo, my people probably wouldn't, and your people probably wouldn't either, but whatever, everybody gets to the woo at some point, usually if they're spiritual in some way and they have faith. So the light is the sacred geometry that you're referring to. And what we're seeing now, right at the surface is this inversion, of the dark, and they're taking the geometry and they're taking the shapes and things that have been really ancient history, hidden science, lost civilizations. And look at the pyramids. That's, ancient geometry and the sacred geometry. It's been hidden for a long time. And so I love that you're bringing it back, and it's not just a beautiful pendant, because it really is a beautiful pendant, even if you just like to have beautiful pendants, but it actually has a purpose and a meaning. And I feel, beautiful and feminine when I'm wearing mine. My partner's always wearing his. And I do notice, like I said, a lot of people have felt so much better. So, in addition to this, I'm going to also link a few podcast episodes that I've done with other people who talk about, how to reduce EMF and to look at all the areas that you're exposed to it. But what are your other 3 favorite techniques that you're also recommending to people too, Wendy, other than, this necklace? You're saying, which I love about you, you're being upfront. This is not going to fix it all. It's just like taking a pill. It's not going to fix it all. Let's get to some other options too to protect yourself. What would you recommend?
Yeah. And I just want to say one thing about the pendant. If someone isn't totally happy, we have 100% money back guarantee. We're not trying to pull any gimmicks. If it doesn't resonate with you, fine, we'll give you your money back. And then also on another note, some people, even if they don't feel changes, which some people just aren't in touch with their body, they might think they are, but some people are just disconnected from their body physically for various reasons. And so some people don't feel the change, or it's very, very subtle. Maybe they're not energetically sensitive or EMF sensitive, so they don't feel anything. But many of the doctors in the study did say that even when their patient reported they didn't feel anything, they still had positive changes in their HRV scores and the other variables in the study. Yeah. So I just want to mention that, because a lot of people think, oh, I didn't feel anything, does it work? It's like a scam or whatever. But the reality is that not everyone will feel something, but they still are getting benefits from it. So just be aware of that. And also, I think when people first put on the pendant, they notice changes and then they habituate to that, which what everything that you're doing, you start habituating to how that feels, and then you don't feel anything. So you want to be careful about that. And so as far as other things you can do to mitigate EMF, distance. So the farther you are from an EMF source, the less you are going to be affected by it. So your cell phone, keep your cell phone a foot away from you. Or if it has to be on, you have to get a call or whatever, keep it a foot away from you. You can, don't charge your cell phone by your head at night. So that whenever you're charging something or charging your computer, it's emitting more EMF or dirty electricity during that process. Make sure that if you can, get a little shield that goes over the smart meter of your home, because that can send out a signal telling your electric company how much electricity you're using. That can send out a frequency 25 miles. That's a very, very strong frequency. So that can be devastating to you if that smart meter is in, like, say, in the wall in the foot of your bed where you sleep or your child sleeps every night. Or, check, there's websites where you can check how many cell phone towers you have, in your vicinity. I lived in LA. I had 400 cell phone towers within a 5-mile radius.
And the one in your office was huge. I remember that when you were downtown LA. I remember you pointed that out.
God. Yeah. I had our offices in downtown Los Angeles at one point. Yeah. There's the AT&T was right in the building next to us. I always felt terrible after I went to the office. I was tired and brain fogged and frustrated. And so, and there's so many things that you can do. But I have a lot of articles on my website on myersdetox.com that talk about EMF mitigation, tons and tons of tips. We have a guide also, the top 10 ways to reverse EMF damage, that also has a lot of tips as well. But that's a good place to get started. And I have all my little stickers. I've got like my pad that my laptop's on, and I've got my cell phone sticker, and I've got my router sticker, and those are all great. I'm just throwing everything I can at it. And I have a Blue Shield cube that it's proven. It's fantastic. It works in 3 different ways to counter the effects of EMF. So Schumann's resonance, that's the kind of resonance of the earth. It's about 7.83 frequency megahertz. And so it emits that frequency, which can counter, that's a scalar frequency that counters the non-native EMF frequencies, but it has 2 other ways that it works as well, and just combines those into one device. So that's what I use for my entire home as well. But when I leave my home, I have my Harmoni Pendant to protect as much as I can. But so those are the things that I would recommend. But there's lots of fantastic products out there to mitigate EMF.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I talk about them in my shows too. It really does need to be something we're all considering, just as much as a toxin that you might be exposed to, that like Botox or like breast implants or like mercury fillings. I mean, it is that serious. This is that serious. I do believe that every single human and child needs to have one of these pendants to protect themselves. Like anything we can do, lower your exposure, protect yourself as much as possible, and get out of the city. Get the hell out of the big city. It's a really big one. Wendy moved to Mexico. I moved to Sedona. So we're out of big cities for that reason. Wendy, what are some of the things that you would like to share at the, wrapping this up, that people, you really heard maybe some success stories that you've heard from other people who've really been stoked about their results that they've had with this?
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we have over 1,000 reviews on the website that you can check out. Kind of have to hunt and peck a little bit, but we're trying to put them on like the homepage so you can see that. But we've had people say that their son had 4 different procedures to get rid of heart palpitations, and they put the pendant on. They had 90% reduction in the heart palpitations. We've had people say their sleep has dramatically improved. They can't believe how much better they're sleeping. We've had people say that they feel much more calm when they're sitting in front of their computer. They can sit in front of their computer all day long. And before, they would get headaches and nausea and feel tired and things like that. And now they're not having those issues wearing the pendant. We've had people say like their little aches and pains went away. We've had lots of people saying that. But the most profound benefit, though, that most people say that their sleep has improved, and that's because their stress levels have come down, so they're able to get into that parasympathetic rest, digest, detox state. And that's, for me, I focus on detoxification. That's kind of my specialty, but my passion now is bioenergetics and learning how the body works energetically and electrically. And that's really, my passion right now. But when I'm working with people to try to detox them or do anything with them, they're so stressed that their body just doesn't work properly. They eat all this amazing food, they don't absorb it. They take all these expensive supplements, their nutrition levels are not going up on tests. They take all these different supplements to sleep and they're just not sleeping. They're just stressed all the time. And they go do yoga or they go do something and 30 minutes later, they're just back to where they were before, feeling stressed and anxious and whatnot. And so the pendant is a very easy, very quick way, inexpensive way to just go from that sympathetic stress state to a more of a parasympathetic state where you can then, all the things that you're doing for your health work better, because you can't detox when you're in a stressed out state. You have to be in a parasympathetic, more relaxed state, because otherwise it's just not a priority for your body at all. So the pendant is such an easy way to mitigate stress. And then you can kind of get to deeper layers. I mean, I talk about emotional trauma a lot. You've got to address all that emotional trauma that you have, but the pendant is just a great way to get, break through that first layer of stress so that everything you do works better.
Yeah. It's as above, so below. And if you're afraid and you're living in stress, you're pushing people away. Think about the emotional hangups and hurts that we are carrying around from a previous divorce or a breakup or a business partnership that went bad or mom or dad mistreating you or whatever. A lot of us are still carrying around that story and we don't even know it, but it's still in there. And when we're in that push away state, like I'm not safe, I need to keep everybody at bay, we're pushing things away. That's as above, and so below would be your cells. Your cells are also going to be pushing, nutrients and healthy things away because you're not really able to absorb them because you're in a closed state. So fight or flight is 90% of our lives today. And like Wendy said, you could take all the supplements and all the detox protocols and all the hormone replacement therapies. And if your cells can't receive it, then it's just going to be not only expensive, but it's also going to probably aggravate you. And, I know a lot of women who have Synthroid, they take T4 medication. And their body is so toxic with EMFs and radiation poisoning and toxins and trauma that their liver can't convert it. And so all it's doing is actually aggravating them and giving them more heart palpitations. So if you want everything to work better, this is why I say that this needs to be a pendant that you wear over your heart and wear it to bed. Wendy, you wear yours. Do you recommend wearing it all the time, ever taking it off?
Yeah, you don't have to wear it to bed. Yeah, you don't have to do that. So, I don't wear mine to bed just because I don't want it, the chain to break or something like that. And I don't wear it when I'm in the shower or going swimming or something like that. But I wear it every minute that I can. But you really don't have to wear it like a couple of hours a day, because once you activate the pendant, it does help to kind of optimize your body's energy field. And
Awesome.
and wearing it helps to kind of maintain that. But there's an activation process that is in the box when you get your pendant. You just kind of, go to the website. You'll get an email too on how to activate the pendant and with a video. But you want to also every week, you want to activate the pendant again, because it clears your energy, or it just helps your energy field work more efficiently and optimizes it, because there's a lot of things that can knock you out, like a stressful event or a bad meal or eating a food you're sensitive to, or a fight with your spouse, or a big EMF exposure. There's a lot of things that can affects your energy field every single minute. And so you want to continue to, every time you feel bad, or just at least on a once a week basis, you want to reactivate and recalibrate your pendant to you. And this is especially important if you're an energy worker and you're kind of working on ascension. I think there's a great awakening going on right now, and people are really working on themselves spiritually. So when you're kind of like ascending, your energy field can be kind of off kilter. So in that respect, you want to be kind of recalibrating your pendant to your body's energy field. I know that sounds a little bit woo-woo, but you guys, you energy workers, you know what I'm talking about. So that's just something to be aware of, that you need to, continue kind of calibrating it to your body field.
Yeah. I mean, especially because cars are only going to get, I'm air quoting this, smarter. We've got so many things that I can't drive in my car that often long distance, because my right leg is on the electric, on the pedal. And then I've got the Bluetooth technology and those frequencies running through my body. And I just know that I'm sensitive, and 20% of the population is really sensitive, 80% of which are women. So, we're all sensitive to a degree. We were never designed to be around this much EMF and radiation poisoning. So, it's essential. Thank you for creating this, Wendy. Thank you for putting this on the map. And thank you for being so passionate to put it out there for everybody and making it easy and making it beautiful, and evolving it as it has been, doing the testing, having the proof, because, people like to see that. Well, what's the proof? And the money back guarantee, all of it's amazing. So, any final thoughts, words, stories, anything you'd like to say as we wrap up?
Yeah, well, all I can say is that, you really, I know a lot of people are taking such good care of themselves. And I know it's a lot of work and time to learn all this stuff, but you need to invest in learning about EMF, because it is growing dramatically. I mentioned the satellites. It's just going to be increasing more and more and more. You need to learn how your body works. It works energetically. It's the main communication highway of your body. And working in the body's energy field is the future of medicine, I assure you. And there's so many cool technologies come out, like med beds, and there's a bioenergetic program I love called NES Health, NES Health. And there's so many other cool technologies out there that are so incredibly effective, because everything that you put in your energy field, your physical body takes that information, and you change your physical body based on the information. Your body takes instruction from this energy field. So what you put in there is what the output is physically. So if you want to change your body physically, you need to work in that energy field. So you need to be learning about this, and don't poo-poo it or just dismiss it. I think people are very quick to dismiss that because they don't know anything about it. And there's lots of very respected people that are medical doctors that are talking about this, that are doing research on it. There's tons of research on PubMed. Many in the mainstream, medical community, they're 15 to 17 years behind the science. So do that research for yourself. I assure you, the research to back all this information is out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Please apply that to everything before you dismiss it. Just keep your mind open, look at both sides before you make a decision, and don't knock it until you've tried it as well. Wendy's giving you guys no reason to not try it, with the study as well as the money back guarantee. So I'll put the link below and how you guys can get it, or wherever this is in social media land. Maybe it's my link in bio or wherever. I'll make sure it's very possible for you guys to find this with the specials that they're offering at the best price at the time. And also, just like Wendy just said, your body expresses what the mind suppresses. So we are here to help you ascend and transcend toxins and trauma. Those are the two biggest disruptors of your health. And we covered a lot of ground today. So thanks, Wendy, so much for being with us today, for offering the discount that you have to our warriors, and for always being on the cutting edge of how to elevate, level up our bodies, and to listen and to not dismiss before we try.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And yeah, and just one note, it says on our website, there's a 60-day money back guarantee, but we really, anyone who's not happy, we give them their money back. So there's no risk at all. And we have a 20 millimeter and 25 millimeter, if you like them larger for men. And we also have stainless steel, 18 karat plated rose gold and 18 karat plated yellow gold as well.
I love my rose gold one.
Yeah.
It's so pretty and I feel so feminine, and it goes right between my new boobs because I had them, redone. So yeah, especially for you ladies out there who have had breast implants and have redone them and explanted, a great way to show your boobies, your new boobies, that you love them. So breast implants or not, just it protects your heart, protects your body, and it keeps you in tune and in touch with what's going on inside. So yeah, thanks again, Wendy, for making this possible for us. And everybody who's listening, go get your Harmoni Pendant now. Get one for you, get one for your family. And it also makes a very wonderful gift because even just the design is beautiful. So again, Diane Kaiser with Cleanse, Heal, Ignite podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If this episode really tugged at your soul and you're ready to have your personal breakthrough, we would love to have a heart-to-heart with you to get you crystal clear on 3 things. What do you want? What's standing in your way? And how do we get you to your soul goal in the fastest time possible? Visit my site, dianekaiser.com/call to schedule your free 1-hour connection session with one of our warriors to map out exactly how you want to look, feel, and live. We've helped thousands of women warriors just like you all around the world free themselves from the symptoms and suffering they never thought possible. And you just might be our next success story. Talk soon.